what is this is the parent function of x cubed. Right? Or the parent function of this is x cubed. So what does x cubed look like again? Remember, guys, that's your S-curve graph. Right? Now, we have some transformations. -2 is shifting it right 2, up 1. So you're basically taking where it crosses there and going over 2, up 1. So this new point got transferred over here. So now I'll draw the graph like something like that. Not trying to be do the best I can. But would you guys agree with me how I transferred the x cubed, and then the green is being shifted 2 units right and 1 unit right, right? Now again, let's look at what is the constraints. It says graph this, but x cannot equal 0. So you can graph the whole graph except for where x equals 0. So we go to where x equals 0, and we say, OK, on this graph, x is 0 on the y-axis, right? The graph is not defined at x equals 0. So what should I put there? A hole. So nothing changes. It's just now you have to put a hole there. Now, have any of you guys been on like an old little fishing boat, like a little one, not the big ones, but like a little one, and then you've taken it out, and there's a plug that you have to put in there? Right? Has anybody been in that scenario where you go out and you're like, oh, you forgot to put in the plug? Yes, some people have. OK. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do when you notice that the plug is out, and you could be in the boat and you see, the first thing you want to do is plug the hole. Well, guys, that's basically what this question is asking. Here's your function. There's a hole. It's basically asking you what value c plugs the hole. Because if we plug the hole, do we now have a continuous function? Yes. Yes, right? So we got to figure out what is that value. So what we want to do is say, now again, remember, when I'm graphing you guys, when I'm doing like f of x equals x squared plus 1. Let's just do that. If I say f of 3, then we have 3 squared plus 1. That is going to be 10, or it's going to be equal to 10, right? So again, guys, this function, like that's your input. What you want to do, or actually, let me write it like this. Y equals x. Actually, screw it. Let me write it this way. Y equals x minus 2 cubed plus 1. Here is that equation. Here's the green graph in an equation format, correct? Now I'm using y instead of f of x because I want to make a distinction. X is the input values. Y is the output values, right? We know the input, x equals 0. What we want to figure out is what is the output value, right? What is basically the y value? That's what c we're looking for, correct? We know that this coordinate point is 0, c. What is c, which is really the same thing as asking what is y. So in the equation format, I'm really just looking for what is that value c. Now again, where are we looking for this at? We're looking for this when x equals 0. So all I'm going to do is plug in 0. And now I can just solve for c. I have no idea where 8 came from. I guess I was doing 2 cubed in my head, and that's how I was moving a step ahead of you guys. So we have -2. -2 cubed is going to be -8. -2 times -2 times -2. That's -8. Plus 1 is -7. So my graph is a little off, isn't it? Probably should be something like this. So c equals 7 makes the function continuous because it fills in that hole.
C is just what we're using for k, right?
Mm-hmm. But there's kind of 2 different problems. It's still the same process. Yes?
One's